All right. The moment you feel too busy to focus on visibility is the exact moment your next slow season begins. I like to say dun 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 because that feels really ominous. I also don't like to say dun 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 a lot. Okay. So, if you've ever found yourself buried in client work and realized your own marketing has gone quiet, wanted to hire help but felt like you didn't have time to train anyone, or wondered why your sales slow down the second you get busy, then this episode's for you. Welcome to Bringing Simplicity Unfiltered, where we share exactly what's working right now and what's not, and what it takes to grow a seven-figure business. So, if you want the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly of building a business, hit that subscribe button and make sure that you consume all of our amazingly honest content.
Awesome. Awesome, Greta. Okay, so today we are talking about how to create momentum that compounds. And if all of that is like, what are you talking about, Judy and Greta? Those are just like fancy words to me. It's like, how do you make money and make more of it and make more of an impact? Which means you have to keep on top of mind. You have to keep being visible. You have to be memorable, right? Even when you get busy, that's even more important. That's where you start to lose momentum and you start to like your business. You're like, where, why? I was doing so well months ago. It's because you stopped doing what got you to be doing so well. And we call that, folks, who are watching, we call that scaling. You're scaling your business, right? If you're not scaling, in the words of Dr. Ben Hardy, actually he quotes someone else, I think. I can't remember who the person is, but like you're dying, your business is dying if you're not scaling. So the key is to be consistent in your marketing, whatever that is for you, whether it's organic ads, that is the lifeline of your business. If people do not know you exist, if continually people do not know you exist, think about this, okay? Alex Hermosi's cousin didn't know to go to him, right? I think it was his cousin, for marketing advice in her business. Went and got a coach, and that coach used Alex Hermosi's advice. Like, your own family, I'm sure of it, doesn't even know you exist in the way that you exist. So you have to keep putting your messaging out there. So the first thing that you need to do before you need it, right? Before you need to do this, so talk about like before you need a lifeline, is you need to, and most of you don't want to hear this because you're like, I'm the worst at this. I hate doing this. It takes up so much time. But to hire and train before you actually need the person, right? The best time to build your team is before you need one. Why? Because you can make mistakes. And I guarantee you're going to make mistakes when it comes to hiring. A lot of them. And you're always going to. Ben Hardy made $1 million hiring mistake. You're going to as well. Okay. So when you're in growth mode, you're going to hit the point where like you're like, oh, I can't keep doing things till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, getting a few hours of sleep, and then show up for your clients in your business, right? And if you are somebody that is like Greta, where you're like, you just have this big heart and you're like, oh, I have to be the one to do it. I have to do all of these things. I'm going to tell you right now, your clients are going to be the ones who suffer. Your clients in the end are going to be the ones who suffer. And they're going to be like, hey, did you notice that like this is missing? Did you notice in this part that's missing? Oh, did that get sent? And like it didn't happen, right? It didn't happen because you were too busy doing everything yourself. And like most entrepreneurs, that's why Greta has me. And so whoever that is for you, get you a coach, get you somebody who's going to be like, hey, remember why we're doing this. Is you're going to wait too long to hire your first one. And then after you hire that first person, you're going to be like, why did I wait so long? Right. And then what happens is you're in this scattered, frustrated mode of you're like, oh, we have to get this done now, that you start becoming somebody who people don't want to work for. So then they're either leaving, right? Or you're having to fire them because you have such a short fuse because you want to overserve your clients, but you're rushing to do it, right? So training someone when you're overwhelmed is not only a very hard thing to do, but is not going to allow you to scale and compound your current efforts. Basically, everything that you've built, you're going to have to rebuild. So you might as well do it now before you even hit that. So what to do? Start identifying the roles that you need now, which means map out exactly, like whether it's in your calendar, whatever way you do it, typing it on a Google sheet, however, using Clockify, write down exactly what you do. Then document any processes if you can, a Loom, whatever it is for you, and then come up with a game plan, right? And one way you can do that is being like, hey, this is how I have spent the last 2 weeks of my life, ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, this is how I've spent the last 2-3 weeks of my life. What hires should I make? Right? What are my first, second, and third hires? Where should I start to buy back my time? And so when you do that, you'll already know, and basically just start putting it out there. Even if you're not ready to hire yet, you don't feel ready, start getting like developing that habit before, right? Start becoming that person who is ready. And basically what will happen is you're going to already have those systems, have those tasks, at least for the first few weeks of when you hire somebody, to then be like, okay, I found the right person, right? Like I found them. Now it's like, okay, I already have this whole list of things. Like now I need you to learn these things, right? And so, if hiring feels scary, it's probably something that you need to do. Everyone, no matter what stage in business that they're in, are like, this is one thing you're always going to be doing. So you need to either do it or you need to find somebody who's really, really good at doing it. Either way, hiring is going to be a problem that you're going to have to solve in your business over and over and over again, no matter what stage you're in. And it's what separates, what we see separates those coaches who are like scaling massively and maintaining 7 figures even, versus those who then want to be like, I don't love my business anymore. I don't know if I can do this. And we don't want that to be you. So start with hiring right away.
Yeah, for sure. And Judy speaks about it so confidently and eloquently, which is part of why she's walking through that specific point on hiring, because it is something she's done over and over again over the last 15 years, 15 plus years. And so it is super straightforward for her. Whereas for me, it's been a much more painful process. Everything that I do has been the last things that we've given up. And it shouldn't have been that way. It's just, it was really outside of my comfort zone. And so I feel like I would be remiss to not talk about our amazing partnership with Sphere Rocket. And we won't make this a huge sales pitch. I just want to emphasize to you guys, we tried, 10 plus agencies. We tried hiring on our own. We tried training from the ground up. All of it was very difficult. And the one thing that I love about Sphere Rocket, which Judy probably doesn't even appreciate as much, I know you appreciate it, but you are paired with somebody from Sphere Rocket who helps you be that leader, who helps you think through what is the smallest chunk of this project that I can train on. And they already have trainings built out for their VAs that you can just be like, oh, I want them to be good at using ChatGPT. I'm going to send them to this training on Tuesday. So you don't have to come up with every single training, because the reality is even the very best VA needs training, right? I am an amazing team member and I still do some sort of daily training on my own, whether that's watching a YouTube video, investing in a coach or a mentor, purchasing a course, those type of things. So if I still need training, I can't assume that my VA won't need training daily as well. And so we will drop the information below for booking a call with our Sphere Rocket person, but also just reach out to us. If you want the really polished, clean answer of how amazing Sphere Rocket is, Judy can talk through, because it's been effortless for her. If you're somebody like me, who it's like crazy painful to think about giving up stuff, I will give you like kind of my full experience with trying different companies and ultimately why Sphere Rocket is who we've decided to partner with. But moving on, because today is a lot about visibility, I want to emphasize you cannot convert from silence. You have heard us say in the past that you can't be both the best kept secret and the most successful. It just doesn't work like that. So, and the reality is that most entrepreneurs think they're marketing more than they are. We recently audited a client who said she was always talking about her offer. And you guys, if you've been around here at all, know how we feel about the words always or constantly. Because oftentimes we use those as descriptors, but there isn't data to back it up. And it turns out she was only posting 2 to 3 times a week, which, you know, that's actually on par for us. We think consistent is 3 times per week, so no problem there. However, she was only mentioning her offer once every 6 weeks, if that, which meant that when we went and talked to her people, they had zero clue that she even offered this as a option to purchase from her. And in fact, most of the people that we polled were like, oh my gosh, I would love to buy that. How come I didn't know about it? It's because she was only posting about it very infrequently. And again, if you hang out with us a lot, only 3% of your posts are getting seen. So if you're only talking about it once every 6 weeks, it means the bulk of your audience doesn't even know what you sell. So when we put ad dollars behind that low ticket opt-in, she immediately saw an increase in sales because people actually saw the item that they wanted to buy from her. They saw her as a thought leader. Her content was really solid on social media. They just didn't realize she had something that could solve a problem. And so within 4 weeks, she had clients purchasing her full price offer then from that low ticket piece. And she'd been chasing that for over a year. So what to do? Keep showing up even when you feel like nobody's listening, because that's how social media feels 90% of the time. Make sure you're mixing value-based posts with direct mentions of your offer. You want them to know the name of your big program, even if you're not specifically selling it in that post. And then don't wait for engagement to validate your visibility. Just keep showing up. So remember that visibility compounds. The more often people see you, the more likely they are to engage with you and then ultimately to buy. Even if it takes months later, they're going to come to you and say, oh my gosh, I've been watching all of your stuff for months. And then you're going to say, why didn't you tell me?
Awesome. Yes. And so with that, you're like, okay, I need to talk. What do I talk about? So you don't need to come up with new, like everybody's like, oh, I need to like come up with a new way to talk about my offer, right? Or my whatever I'm marketing for. And you don't. You don't. You just basically need to repurpose and remind people. You do not need to rebuild. You don't need more ideas. You just need to be more consistent. That's like anything in life, right? If you just maintain consistency, you're going to outbeat most of the people. You're going to outbeat your competition. So you don't need to reinvent yourself. You just need to keep repeating. People need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. So you already have the content that works. Go back and look at it. Like Greta said, having a lot of proof and talking over and over again via, like, even if you're not selling your program, like Greta said, like talk about a client win, a testimonial from a client in your program. Do FAQs. Talk about trainings that you've done, talk about events that you've been to, engagements that you've spoken at, maybe a podcast you were on recently and like, I forgot I even spoke about this topic on that podcast, right? Go back and find that, and that could be something that your first hire could do, by the way. If you're like, how do I do that? That could be a task for them. Write that down. And you're going to repurpose and repost like what performed 3 months ago. Go back 3 months, 3 to 6 months, because most of your current audience now hasn't seen it. And then you're going to, clip that up, turn it into short form content, repurpose it on whatever platforms. And then you're basically going to get your audience to engage, right? They're going to start to conversate with you. Say, like, send me a DM if you want to learn more, keep following, things like that. They're going to start asking questions. So repurpose without adding more to your plate. So that will probably only take you 30 minutes to come up with like the rest of the posts for this entire month if you were to go and do that right now. So Greta, what are we talking about next week?
Yeah, so I just want to emphasize that momentum doesn't come from hustle. It comes from habits. Keep showing up even when it feels uncomfortable. Hire before you need help. And if you need help hiring, click below and learn more about our partner, Sphere Rocket. And remember, your visibility today fuels your sales tomorrow. Next week, we're diving into the simplicity framework for scaling, how to know what to systematize first. Subscribe so you don't miss it, because success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing the right things consistently. We'll see you next week.